Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with allthingsbbq.com, and this is seared scallops with lemon caper butter sauce. But today we're searing scallops on the grill, on soapstone, inside the Kamado Joe, Kettle Joe. So the first thing we gotta do is get this thing fired up. So we've got our firebox loaded up here. We love this little Kettle Joe. The ceramic insulation is really nice for holding this heat down here. It's simple like a kettle, but it's got that added insulation. We're also gonna be making a lemon caper butter sauce today to go with our seared scallops. Now this is a pretty simple sauce, not a lot of prep to it. We got a zest and juice, a lemon, we've got some garlic we wanna grate up. So we're gonna knock those things out while the grill heats up. So we're just gonna take off this top layer, the zest of the lemon with the microplane. This is a great little tool. If you guys don't have one of these, it's pretty helpful. I love to use it not just for zest, but you can also do your garlic on here. You want to really get it to where it just melts into sauces or whatever dish you're cooking. But this top layer, this zest, is incredibly aromatic. It adds a lot of lemon to a dish without adding a lot to the dish. I mean, this is just pure lemon aroma. So while we've got the microplane out, we'll go ahead and do our garlic. Just one large clove of garlic should do the trick. Well, let's go ahead and get this lemon juiced while we're at it. All right, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and throw the lemon zest in there because it's all gonna go in at the same time. We've had the airflow wide open to get this thing going. I'm gonna place our control cap back on here. We're gonna leave it all the way open though. Sitting about 500 degrees inside here right now. You can see we got a good coal bed going. I'm just gonna rake this around so it continues to ignite all of that charcoal. But now that we've got a good thing going, I wanna get my grates in place. All right, so soapstone's gonna go right on top of that firebox on the ceramic. So that's gonna get super hot just right on top of those coals. And then we've got just a regular grate. It's also gonna go down on the lower setting here with a cast iron skillet to preheat. All right, so ambient temperature inside the grill right now is around 500 degrees. This skillet's really hot. We're gonna add to it 3/4 of a cup of dry white wine. And I just want this reduced down to about a tablespoon or two. All right, so we've reduced that way down now. We've concentrated all of that flavor in the wine. We're just gonna pour this off for the time being. And this will come back into our sauce here in a little bit. But what we wanna do now is get our butter and our oil in the skillet. So I'm gonna throw about 2 tablespoons of olive oil in here first, and then about 6 tablespoons of butter. We're mixing the butter with the olive oil really to get that flavor. We want to start to brown this butter just a little bit. The olive oil will help us to keep from scorching it. So now with this all melted down, I'm just gonna let it sit here and cook until it starts to foam up a bit. Just kind of toast this butter in here. Now we've got that little bit of browning going on. It's foamed up really nice, but we're not scorching anything yet. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna add our capers. Things are pretty much gonna fry in this butter, as well as our garlic. Wow, you smell that fried caper, it smells amazing. Now we're gonna add to that our lemon juice and zest. Add back our wine. And we really don't need this intense heat anymore. We'll finish this off just about a tablespoon of our pit fire hot sauce. And that is it. That's our lemon butter caper sauce. We can take it off the grill. We just set it aside. We'll go ahead and sear up our scallops over here. Now let's go ahead and get our scallops prepped up and on the grill. All right, so these are our sea scallops. These have been rinsed just quickly under cold water, get rid of any grittiness. And then I've been sitting open in the fridge to kind of dry them out so we can get a nice sear on the outside of them. Now, for the most part, I've done all the work on these. I saved a couple back here though. We'll show you this guy right here. These sea scallops, they often have this little foot on them, just a little bit chewy spot. I just peel that right off of there, discard that, and then this is what we're actually going to be consuming. We're going to do a very simple seasoning on these today. We've got some black garlic infused sea salt and some black pepper, and that's it. Just a little bit on the surface. These things came out of the ocean, so they don't need a lot of salt. Now we're going to get a little bit of oil on our soapstone here before we get the scallops down. We use a high heat oil. This is avocado. Anything with a high smoke point, because this is hot. We're talking about 500 degrees on the surface, about 550 ambient right now. I'm going to space these out just enough so they have plenty of room to get seared. This soapstone, it cooks a lot like cast iron, but of course it's made out of soapstone. They're really beautiful when they're new. Pretty gray marbling pattern to them. But this one's got about 2 years of love cooked onto it, which I wouldn't trade for a pretty design. So these are starting to release now. A little bit of sear going on. Want to be careful not to overcook scallops. I'm going to take them about to 140 or so, but they really get chewy when you overcook them. If that's still stuck, I'm going to leave it there for a second. I'll let it kind of release on its own. So back here in the back, some of these little guys are getting done. This is the more intense heat back here because we banked the coals toward the back of the grill. It's not letting go. I'm not forcing it. Another thing to remember when you're doing this is don't close the lid. These things cook quick. And if you close the lid, they're going to be rubbery by the time you get any sort of texture on the outside. All right, we're going to bring it all together now. We've got a little bit of chickpea pasta here. We're going to serve this on top of, let that sauce just soak into it. Now the sauce, as it cools, will separate a bit. Just a quick whisk brings it back together, that emulsion. It's going to be very lemony, briny, and of course buttery. Let's go ahead and put just a little bit of this down on the pasta to start. And then we'll plop our scallops right here on top. Smother it there. Our lemon butter caper sauce. That's it. All right, let's get a bite. Lemon juice. First thing that hits me. And because of that, it feels really bright, really fresh. The capers are nice. There's a brininess there. I mean, this meat is super tender. Certainly didn't even need that knife to cut it apart. So tender. I mean, the butter just kind of coats your mouth. Carries all those flavors all over the place. I like that texture. I love this flavor combination. A little bit lighter dish, but a really great one for these warm months. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out allthingsbbq.com for all the products featured in today's video. If you enjoy the recipe, hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments, or there's anything you'd like to see me cook, let me know in the comment section down below, and let's be good to one another. For more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to allthingsbbq.com/thesauce. All things barbecue, where barbecue legends are made.